What's up, Jason Fladlin here. I know I look homeless. It's been crazy. I've been stuck in France here, loving it. I've made millions and millions online. I probably look like I work at Walmart. Hopefully the game I give you today will prove to you that I actually know what I'm talking about. Maybe a couple of you will learn something here, make some money with it. Give me a shout out if you do. I'm going to talk about hypnotic patterns today. I see a lot of idiots out there on YouTube who are really good at selling in the normal fashion. Like they read a couple Zig Ziglar books and they think they know what they're doing. And then they teach you hypnotic sales patterns and they don't know shit, quite frankly. I use a lot of hypnotic languaging in my sales pitches, my webinars, which have set records and have influenced the biggest names in the industry, which have went on to sell over billions of dollars. Believe it or not, listening to little Jason Fladlin from Muscatine, Iowa. So let me not overstate the value of these. These are small percentage incremental improvements in your language, but if you get and understand these, it's going to help a lot. So I've created this little handout for you. This is not exhaustive. It does two things. I'm going to give you embedded commands, which you'll see on the left-hand side of the screen here. You'll get the phrase, you'll get a specific instance, and then you'll get a commentary. Because what a lot of people do when they oversimplify these hypnotic language patterns is they think one technique used one time is good, but it's not. Good persuasion artists, they stack and use multiple techniques simultaneously. Good luck teaching that to people. So I'm going to give you at least two on each one. There's more than two in even one sentence here. There's multiple levels of persuasion. But if you get one, great. If you get two, even better. So I've highlighted in green here these embedded commands. These are supposed to be marked. One of the best and easiest ways to mark any communication is with a change in delivery. So if the phrase is, I'm wondering if you'll ... I'm wondering if you'll know exactly when you'll get the insight you need today. So notice there was a phonological marking. If I want to get fancy, there was a phonological marker there where I changed the delivery, the meter of the delivery, the tonality delivery, combination of the above. Here's another one. Maybe you haven't yet. So maybe you haven't yet realized how powerfully you can change. So again, slight phonological difference in how the pronunciation and delivery is given. Not super big and obvious, but not unnoticeable if you're listening close enough, which the unconscious mind always is. So these are good to know because of a reason most people aren't aware of. If I only make direct claims to you, if I say you're going to get the exact insight you need today and you're going to know exactly how to change by the end of the day and you're going to find all sorts of great ways to change. If I say that, that can work and that's smart and you should do that. You should be both direct and indirect. So think of direct as a hammer and a hammer's good for a nail. Indirect, a little bit more finessed. It's another tool in the toolkit. And if you're selling en masse, because I don't want to sell one-to-one, it's too slow, too boring. I want to sell one-to-many. Get that book on Amazon, by the way. Then I have to speak to multiple audiences simultaneously. And even to the same brain, giving them multiple perspectives in which to make a decision helps them make better decisions. And so this is why we want to use indirect languaging. You never lose rapport with these statements if you do them correctly. So will you blank or blank? Will you get it first through the brain and through logic, or will it first enter into your heart? That statement can't be false. It's an either or suggestion, or maybe you haven't yet realized how powerfully you can change. That's also artfully vague, as you'll see over here in the commentary. It can't be wrong. It can only be right. So if we take a series of suggestions that can't be invalidated, so therefore we never lose rapport, worst case scenario, they go in one ear and out the other, but they don't negate a sell or they don't take a step backwards in the sales process. They can only take steps forwards, and we give a copious amount, a preponderance of these, and stack them on top of each other. This can tip the sell over that otherwise wouldn't get tipped over. So I'm not going to go through every phrase here. I'll give you a download. We'll put it in the comments of the YouTube video here. You'll get this, the reference guide here. How would it feel if this was the day that everything turned around for you? So it doesn't have to. I can't be wrong with that statement. But if I keep making suggestions, some direct, some indirect, and I stack them on top of you, then the value that I have to serve you, you're more likely to accept it, and I'm more likely to change you. So these are all the things here. Now, I made a little bit of extra notes here. This is the extra credit stuff. Most of these have presupposition that you absolutely can and will do the thing that is claimed. A lot of these use what I call artfully vague. If I say you have within you the power to change, whether you realize it or not, change in what way? I didn't specify that. I left that vague enough so you can fill in the blanks and you can personalize it to you. So I can speak to 10 people, and each of those 10 people will fill in the blanks that are the most emotionally relevant to them, which is most likely to get them to buy. Double binds, where either decision leads to the result that you want at the end. Gradualization is a very powerful technique, especially with people who don't know you. You start with very small, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, and then over time you gradualize the claims until you're making definitive, declarative claims. But at the beginning you say, hey, you might be able to see ways in which you can improve yourself today. And as we go along, you might notice a sense of confidence increase, maybe 1% by 1%. And eventually there is something here that could be the difference for you. I could start building that narrative, and then over time I can be much more declarative. You now have all the tools you need to succeed. You now have the direction and the path forward. The question is, whether will you take it or not? That's how you can gradualize over time. Timeless shifts, we can add these into these embedded commands where we look at the problem as already solved and we look towards it from the future back to the past. Most people only look at it in the present and they don't look forward. If they look anywhere, it's at a brick wall. So we help them break that pattern. We use covert communication a lot of times, and we bypass resistance. There's a really powerful technique here too called linking, where you take two true statements and then you add a third, a suggestion to it. And since it's surrounded by factual evidence, the suggestion tends to take on the nature of fact. This is powerful language. It can be abused. A couple of you idiots listening will abuse it. I hope I don't find out about it. Many of you will use this ethically, because you're a coach to the people that you sell. And a good coach helps the person they're coaching get the change that they want and doesn't allow their limiting beliefs to stop them from getting that change. Okay? But regardless, you don't use this stuff corny, okay? So this is the trick. The problem people have is hypnotists can't be salespeople. Salespeople can't use hypnotism because we can't take the therapeutic environment and copy and paste it into a sales scenario. We have to separate the two. So you have to not sound like a moron from Mars, because then you will lose all credibility even if you use the right languaging. You have to find a way to forklift it over from therapeutical settings, which is where most hypnosis is from. Put it into communication in a sales environment. These are the ways I use it. I've gotten better results with this stuff than anybody on the damn planet. And most of the guys teaching it to you on YouTube, they might have 1 million more subscribers than me. They spent more time taking this stuff so they didn't have to invent it and then put it in a package. But a lot of them got it from me. This is the strategy. Learn how to use this, because you will only increase rapport. Rapport increases sales. You will have additional ways besides blunt force persuasion. It's the least crafting way possible to make a sale. Anyway, was this useful or not? I don't know exactly when you'll find use for this, but as you ponder and begin to think of the different phrases that you can use, I bet you will have a feeling of glee in your body. And I'm not sure exactly where that feeling will first manifest itself. It could be the toe, it could be the finger, it could be between two teeth that are in your smiling mouth. But as you begin to feel yourself seeing a new possibility, you get it, right? I could do this for days. So this is just one little tiny piece of the persuasion puzzle. You need a lot more than that. Hopefully you get my book. I don't care, honestly. The $9 on Kindle ain't worth anything. I'm just ranting now. Get out there, use this. Let me know how it goes.